I have definitely been dreading this moment. The fact that interest rate increases from the Federal Reserve or the Bank of Canada seem inevitable at this point. And we've talked in past videos about what the implications are, especially for the housing market. If the banks raise the interest rates, the mortgage rates will follow. So we'll be discussing what a chief economist said from Scotiabank this week about the forecast for the Bank of Canada. We'll also be discussing one of the top banks and what their outlook looks like for mortgage rates over the next 1 to 5 years. But if this is your first time here, my name's Nick. Welcome to Waste of Wealth. I have a huge favor, a huge ask. If you learn something new or you get some value out of the video, hit that like button for me. I would definitely appreciate that. And if you haven't already, please consider hitting the subscribe button and turning that notification bell on. Would love to have you a part of the community. We've talked about this. It seems like inflation is rearing its ugly head to the point where banks need to start worrying about where their interest rates are at to kind of help curb and have it go into some type of hyperinflation. So this is all monetary policy. This is all what the big wigs are doing, whether it's the Federal Reserve in the US or the Bank of Canada here in Canada. We'll be discussing this article that we had from Bloomberg, where this Scotiabank economist says he sees 8 Bank of Canada rate hikes by the end of 2023, which is not too far away. So the gentleman's name is Mr. Holt here, and he sees that there will be moves basically starting in July of next year. So Derek Holt said on Wednesday on BNN Bloomberg that the moves will be followed in September, October, and December, predicting the pace of tightening would then slow, with quarterly moves in 2023 bringing the policy rate to 2.25% by the end of the year. Now, to be realistic and to give you an indication, we're at 0.25% today. So this is a massive increase to get it up there. And in reality, we'll be touching what the mortgage rates are, but this is not the mortgage rate. This is just what the lending rate is from the Bank of Canada. Holt's aggressive forecast came after Statistics Canada reported that yearly inflation hit 4.4% in September. This is the highest since February 2003 and the 6th consecutive months of readings beyond the central bank's control range. So this is something that we've also talked about in other videos, the sense that they want inflation to be around 2%. But since inflation is a measure of how fast money is moving around the economy, in turn, how fast prices are rising, they weren't really seeing that since 0809. So they wanted to create a little bit of pandemonium to get the inflation going. Inflation is good in a healthy economy, but where the problem is when it runs away and it gets out of their control. We're starting to see that where they can't control it anymore. And one of the policies that they can do is raising the interest rate, making money, making it harder for people to get money and making it more expensive, which is kind of causing a tightening in the economy. So we'll also see, Holt goes on to say that this is not transitory at all. You can't just talk through inflation readings like this. It's definitely come to the point that this is something that is here for at least 2 to 3 years, and we need to start making these measures now. When you think about it, money's been so cheap for so long that eventually when push comes to shove, my favorite quote is Warren Buffett says, "When the tide goes out, you will see who is swimming naked." With money being so cheap, people are levering up. They're taking out a little bit too much money. They're buying 2, 3 homes. When all of a sudden these interest rates go up, we've talked about it in the house poor video. If the interest rates go up and it makes these mortgages more expensive, people will either become house poor. They won't have enough money to go spend on other things. So that'll hurt the economy in that sense, but it will also make it very difficult for those who have stretched out their budget in order to afford these homes. And I don't blame them, because obviously you want a home, but it's those who have bought 2, 3, 4 homes based on using equity in previous homes. So using one home to buy another. Those are the people that might get hurt the most. With that being said, let's take a look at this article here in Better Dwelling. Better Dwelling has been a super good website for the housing market in Canada. And they say that mortgage rates are subject to climb. Bank of Canada will be forced to hike early, and that's from Desjardins. It's not a big of a bank as Scotia is, but we've now seen 2 banks in Canada signal the fact that raising the rates now is better than ever. So we're seeing here that the central bank will be forced to accelerate its overnight hike schedule. Bank of Canada is now expected to increase by 25 basis points in July 2022. So taking it from 0.25 that it's at today to 0.50. And that would put rates at double today's level, highlighting how currently low they are. Another similarly sized hike is expected to follow in the fourth quarter. So if we take a look here at what their expectations are of, okay, that's what the bank's going to be set at, but what is the mortgage rate going to be set at? We look at the 1-year expectation, so 1 year fixed versus a 5-year fixed in the darker blue. And this number in 2021 is expected to be 4.8. We then see it climb to 5.1, then 5.5 to 5.75. To give you an example, I believe most rates are sitting at around 2.5, 2.75, something that's fixed. And that's even on the high end when it comes to dealing with one of the bigger banks. So again, this is all circulating amongst the inflation talks. They want to put in policies that are restricting the amount of money that's circulating, because at this point, there's so much inflation concern that it could run out of control. And yeah, realistically, this is the moment I've been dreading, because there are so many people that are stretched out when it comes to their financial budget, that any increases in the mortgage rate could cause them, again, like we said before, for them to become house poor, or B, not be able to afford it. But yeah, no, it's definitely something that is a potential for, maybe real estate prices to cool off. But a big concern for where we head in this economy, especially with our negative GDP rates. Our economy is not growing as fast, but yet we have inflation growing at numbers we haven't seen for almost 20 years. So yeah, definitely big concerns happening there. Let me know your thoughts. Is this a concern for you, or is this something that you're still in the mindset that inflation is transitory? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're still here with me, don't forget, give me a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I hope you all have a great week in the markets. Happy trading.